Good day, everyone. My name is Mattesh A, and today I'll be talking about the competitive bidding in engineering projects. The purpose ensures transparency, cost effectiveness, and quality. The process consists of clients invite multiple engineering firms to submit proposals. The proposals will then be evaluated on technical expertise, cost efficiency, timeline, and overall value. The project awarded to a firm that meets client requirements comprehensively. The outcome of this is that it fosters competition and drives innovation and efficiency in the industry. In this case study, the scenario is firm A submits a bid for a significant infrastructure project but loses to firm B. The engineer from firm A is approached by firm B to join their consulting team. The we have to consider these ethical considerations, which are the professional growth, the potential for new opportunities, and for professional development. Moreover, the conflict of interest, which is the possible insider knowledge or bias, and the ethical responsibilities to former employee and current project standards. And finally, the decision factors is weighing professional advancements against ethical implications and maintaining the integrity and adherence to ethical standards in decision making. In this next section, firstly, the objectives is to explore the ethical and legal implications of accepting the second appointment. This includes examining potential conflicts of interest, breaches of confidentiality, and adherence to professional codes of conduct. The second objective being to provide recommendations based on technical and ethical reasoning. This involves assessing the scenarios of accepting or declining the appointment would be justified, supported by ethical principles and professional guidelines. Next, on the importance of ethics in engineering, the first being the role of ethics. It is central to the engineering profession and ensures public safety, health, and welfare. For professional responsibility, it is the adherence to ethical standards which maintains integrity and credibility. The impact of engineering decisions is the significant effects on society and the environment. And the acting ethically serves the best interests of the public. And the next point is fostering trust and confidence. It is upholding ethical principles which builds public trust in the profession. And finally, navigating ethical dilemmas. It is the thoughtful consideration which is essential and prioritizing the professional responsibility and public trust over personal gain.
Hello, my name is Jaya Sathivellan and I'll be going over the technical and engineering issues with this project. First of all, design compatibility. Every engineering team has its own design philosophy and methodologies. Challenges of an engineer will be to transition to a new team, which means adapting to their design approach. Understanding and integrating is key. We need to understand and adapt to their new software tools, design standards, and also their project management practices. Effective communication and collaboration to ensure compatibility. By aligning design objectives and ensuring technical aspects are integrated. Moving on to project continuity, getting up to date on the current state of project means understanding existing design, project constraints, and the technical challenges. Familiarization is a must to avoid any project delays, where project delays will lead to increased costs and time equals to money. Knowledge transfer from existing team to integrate into project and effective contribution, such as their documents and their briefings. Quality and safety standards. We need to align with the varying standards for quality and safety because each engineering team will have their own standards. Understand the new team's quality and assurance safety protocols by adhering to their industry standards, regulatory requirements, and client expectations. Continuous monitoring and assessment to ensure project meets quality and safety standards. Need to identify and address any deviations and potential risks that will compromise project quality. Communication and collaboration. Effective communication and collaboration is key for any project. We need to swiftly establish rapport with the new team members and integrate into existing team dynamics. An engineer has to be adaptable and proactive in fostering a collaborating environment. Challenges that may arise are different working styles, cultural differences, and team dynamics. An engineer has to have a clear and transparent communication to avoid misunderstandings. By having open channels of communications, regular meetings, and progress updates, we can have clear and transparent communication. Lastly, project documentation. Review and understand project documentation is crucial for effective contribution on project, such as their design documents, specification, and technical reports. Discrepancies must be addressed promptly. An engineer working with the team to ensure all documentation is accurate and comprehensive, because proper documentation is essential for regulatory compliance. Ensure all activities are documented to maintain project integrity and accountability.
Hello everyone, my name is Sanjhiiv and today I'll be talking about the discussion chapter for this project. So in discussion, we'll be going through the overview of competitive bidding and ethical standards and guidelines. So what is competitive bidding? It is a crucial method for selecting the best team of a project. Like in a large industrial project, many firms will submit their proposals showcasing their plans, their costing, and their past experiences. This process begins when a client, such as the city government, issues a request for proposal, and all these firms come in to participate and provide their proposals to the city. So based on a predetermined set of criteria, the city will decide on which company to provide the project to, depending on their experience, their costing, and multiple other factors. So moving on to ethical standards and guidelines. So ethical standards and guidelines for engineers are crucial to ensure integrity, safety, and trust in the profession. Engineering ethics are all about doing the right thing. All engineers should always be honest and clear in their work to keep everyone's trust. You should only take jobs that you are confident in and keep on learning new skills. Keeping sensitive information private is also a key task in building trust within engineers. The safety and well-being of public should always come first to engineers' mind. And lastly, engineers should always be fair and avoid situations where they have conflicting interests by acting professional and impartial. So, moving on in discussion, we are going to talk about the detailed scenario analysis of the engineer in question. The engineer's team did not win the bid, but another team received the letter of intent from the client. However, this other team has offered a consultant position to the engineer. Now, what should the engineer's next course of action be? If he decides to move on with the new team, then he would be able to advance his career. However, this will also pose a risk of looking disloyal to the old team and pose a risk of him leaking confidential information from the old team. So, what should the engineer do in this type of situations in handling conflicts? So, initial step would be to identify and disclose conflicts. He should let his old team know about his course of action. Secondly, he should develop a transparent criteria and use multiple evaluators to outweigh the pros and cons and see what would his best course of action be. Thirdly, he should document every information given to the new team and make sure that none of the information goes against any privacy clause from his old team. And finally, if the cons outweigh the pros by a huge amount, he should recuse himself from joining the new team to avoid any form of bias and negative perception towards him. By following these steps, he will be able to be transparent and fair to both parties.
Hi, my name is Thivyan. Today I'm going to discuss on the crucial ethical consideration related to conflict of interest and professional responsibility. These principles are essential for maintaining integrity and trust in our profession. So point number one is conflict of interest. The first challenge is that the potential conflict between personal gain and professional duties. When an engineer moves to a competitor after working with a losing bidder, it may appear that their decision is driven by the financial benefits or career advancement rather than a commitment to their original professional responsibility. Another significant issue is the risk of possessing insensitive information. An engineer moving to a new team may carry inside knowledge about the previous bidder, strategies, designs, or pricing. This can provide a new employer with an unfair advantage and compromising the integrity of the competitive bidding process. Finally, the reputation of both the engineers and the involved firms can be severely damaged. The perception of unfair advantage and unethical behavior undermines trust and integrity in the bidding process, which is vital for fair competitive. The second point is professional responsibility. Professional responsibility demands adherence to high ethical standards. Engineers must demonstrate impartiality and fairness in their work. When an engineer joins a winning team after working with their team, it may be seen as a prioritizing personal gain over these core values. Such action can erode trust with former clients who might feel betrayed if an engineer switches sides. Client may question whether the engineer was genuinely committed to their interests or potentially leading to a loss of business and damaged relationship. And additionally, potential new clients may doubt the engineer's loyalty and ethical principles. They might fear that similar conflicts could arise in future projects, making it difficult for the engineers to build new professional relationships and to gain their trust. So both conflict of interest and professional responsibility are critical aspects of maintaining ethical standards in our field. It's essential to carefully consider these factors to preserve trust, integrity, and professionalism. Let's now explore the critical aspects of confidentiality, trust, and legal ethical standards that govern our profession. Confidentiality and trust are foundational principles in engineering. Clients rely on engineers to protect sensitive information, including designs, strategic plans, and financial data. So, upholding this principle is crucial for maintaining client confidence and ensuring the integrity of our work. When an engineer moves to a competitor, there's a risk of breaching confidentiality. This risk includes both intentional and unintentional leaks of sensitive information. So even if an engineer intends to maintain confidentiality, the exposure to such information increases the likelihood of unintentional disclosure or biased decision that could benefit the new employer. The repercussion of breaching confidentiality can be severe and long-lasting. It can be severely damage professional relationship and damage their engineer's reputation. A betrayed client may take legal action, leading to loss of business and creating barriers for the engineers to establish trust with future clients. Next, the legal and ethical standards are designed to mandate confidentiality and prevent conflicts of interest. Professional codes of conduct enforced by regulatory bodies set clear guidelines for maintaining ethical behavior and protecting client information. Violating these standards can lead to significant legal consequences or professional sanctions. Engineers who breach ethical codes may face legal action, including lawsuit and financial penalties. So additionally, they might face disciplinary measures from licensing boards or such as suspension or revocation of their professional license. So case study provides a real-life example of severe repercussion faced by engineers who have not adhered to ethical guidelines. Instance where engineers switched alliance and used appropriate information from former employer highlight the risk and emphasize the importance of upholding ethical behavior. This case underscores the need of maintaining high ethical standards for long-term professional and integrity. So in summary, confidential and adherence to legal ethical standards are essential for maintaining trust and professionalism in engineering. Understanding and respecting their principle is crucial for protecting client interests and ensuring integrity of the engineering profession. Thank you for your attention.
Hi, my name is Yogesh, and I'll be explaining about the recommendation part for criteria for making an ethical decision. So, there are five criteria that I would like to talk about, which would be the first one, the review obligations. Examine contractual or ethical obligation to the original bidder. And secondly, would be confidential information. Assess if the new position requires disclosing confidential information. And professional integrity, consider the impact on your reputation within the industry. And the fourth criteria would be seek guidance, consult with professional bodies or ethical committees. And finally, long term implications, reflect on long term career and relationship impacts. Thank you. And the recommendation part for steps to evaluate the potential for conflict of interest would be identify conflicts first. Analyze direct conflicts between the original client and new employer. Secondly, impact assessment. Evaluate the effects on both parties and third party stakeholders. Thirdly, it would be policy review. Check company policies and industry standards on conflicts of interest. Fourthly, it would be legal advice. Seek legal counsel for understanding the implications. And finally, documentation. Maintain thorough records of the evaluation process. So there are three strategies for the recommendation part for strategies for maintaining ethical integrity and ensuring transparency and fairness in professional dealings. The first one would be adhere to codes, follow professional engineering codes of ethics. Secondly, continuous education, engage in ongoing professional development. Thirdly, would be mentorship, seek advice from seasoned professionals. Clear communication, communicate intentions and implications openly with all parties. Fair competition, avoid actions that undermine fair competition. And finally, disclosure, promptly disclose any potential conflicts of interest. And finally, the recommendation for mitigation measures. First one would be conflict resolution plan. Develop a plan to manage and mitigate conflicts of interest. Secondly, firewall mechanism. Implement measures to protect confidential information. Thirdly, independent oversight. Arrange for an impartial party to oversee your work. Inform parties clearly, both the original client and new employer, about the situation. And also regular updates. Provide continuous updates about your work and conflict management. Lastly, it would be encourage feedback, solicit feedback from both parties to address concerns and adjust approaches.
For the section of conclusion, there are several points. The first being technical and engineering challenges in transition. It is the adapting to new design philosophies and familiarizing with the project's current state. The second being the ethical challenges and conflicts of interest, which is serving a winning consultant team after winning with a losing bidder, and maintaining client trust and professional integrity. And the third point, which is reviewing obligations and confidentiality, which is the evaluation of contractual and ethical obligations to the original bidder. Moreover, the determination is the necessity of disclosing or using confidential information. The fourth point is impact on reputation and professional integrity. We have to consider the perception of prioritizing personal gain over ethical standards and the potential erosion of trust with former clients and colleagues. The long-term professional implications is the importance of upholding high ethical standards for long-term success, and declining the second appointment to preserve professional integrity. And finally, the broader implications for engineering profession. It has impacts on fairness of competitive bidding process and also erosion of trust among clients and stakeholders. That is all from me. Thank you.